Hey guys, how are you? Happy almost Halloween. I know it's several weeks off, but I'm getting super excited for Halloween. I love to decorate for Halloween. I just think it's so much fun. I kind of like the trick-or-treaters and everything. But anyway, this is kind of like a throwback. What should I say? Throwback Thursday? Maybe that's what I should name this. I'm going to kind of go back in time and pick up a product that I've actually had for a very long time. And I know this sounds really gross, but I picked up this Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Balancing Foundation a very long time ago. I used it for about a week and then I shelved it because I didn't care for it, but never really did a review on it. So I'm actually bringing this out Retro Thursday, bringing it back from the storage area and going to just kind of do a quick little review on this. Now, I am targeting this specific review for mature audiences. And what I mean by that is for women that have more mature lines with fine lines and wrinkles, or big lines and wrinkles, deep lines and wrinkles. This is more for you. If you're younger and you don't have lines and wrinkles, don't have big pores, heck, you can almost wear anything or wear nothing at all. But for someone like myself who's 52 and has to deal with kind of lines around your eyes, deeper lines around your mouth, then you really have to be a lot more careful as to the foundation you use. And I tried this Tarte foundation, and I actually tried it with the brush that they recommended to be used with it. And I really hate this brush also because this thing is so stinking big. When I'm trying to get it around certain areas, I'm just like popping myself in the eye with it. So I never, even though it's kind of a really nice, soft, fluffy brush, I kind of never liked this for applying the foundation. But that's not here nor there. I'm talking really about the consistency of this foundation. For me, this was way too cakey and drying for my skin. Now, I think this runs about $38. I think they've actually even changed the design of this container since I actually purchased this, and hopefully this is not loaded with bacteria, but like I said, I really only used it a couple days and I didn't stick my fingers in it or anything. It's like I said, it's supposed to be a long-lasting foundation, give you full coverage. It does have an SPF of a 15 sunscreen in it, which isn't bad, but it's really supposed to be weightless. It's supposed to be very lightweight and natural looking and give you a very flawless kind of canvas to work with. I found this foundation to be very mattifying, and someone my age really needs more of a glow to their skin versus having a very matte foundation. And again, I'm not knocking this product just to knock it because I really do like Tarte. I think it's a great company. They make their products with no parabens, phthalates, petrochemicals, very great stuff. I like a lot of their other products. It's just that for someone with more mature skin, I don't think this is a great foundation. I feel like it gets in all my fine lines and wrinkles, mattifies my face. When you're older, you really need to have that kind of dewier look to your skin so it looks healthy and soft and supple. This almost reminded me of when I put a clay mask on and it dried. And when I went outside in the sun, instead of having a kind of just that glow, I could just kind of see this foundation just sitting on top of my skin. I use the tan in this, and I'll show you what it looks like if you haven't even looked at this. Like I said, this has been out for a while, so this is kind of like my retro throwback review. And it comes out really thick, and feels really heavy. And that is the tan color. It almost looks like a really thick moisturizing cream. So you think that when you put it on your face, it would give you kind of a lot of moisture. It just doesn't give me that glow that someone older, I think, really needs to their skin. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take half of my makeup off, probably this side because it's easier to see. Take half of my makeup off and apply this. It's kind of hard to really get the gist of how this looks once it's dried over YouTube. You almost have to be with me out in the sun to see that how it dries kind of on my face. But I'll at least let you see how the coverage is for this, because for younger people, the coverage is really pretty nice. And if, like I said, if you don't have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles or giant pores, you may actually like this foundation. But let me wipe this off and I will be right back. I'm back and I took off the foundation. I left my eye makeup on, but I took the foundation off this side of my face so you can kind of see what I'm dealing with. I have very dark circles under my eyes, a lot of hyperpigmentation on my face. I know you guys are sick of hearing me talk about this every video. A lot of redness around my nose. Same thing, scar here, hyperpigmentation, and you know, some hyperpigmentation here. Most of my lines are around my mouth here. I do have some here, but kind of not as bad as the lines around my mouth. That's the area I always kind of am not really happy with. Now, when you take this out and you rub it between your fingers, it is so thick. And it's strange because when I rub it, I mean, that is kind of the consistency of it. Now, that does look kind of like very clayish to me. And even when I tried to rinse this off underwater, it's almost like this stuff is waterproof and it gets like really greasy and slimy when you're trying to rinse this off. So it's just kind of icky. I just don't like the consistency of this, at least for me. Now, let me get a mirror and I will put it on one side of my face and I'll at least let you see what the coverage looks like of this foundation. And it's really strange. I just tried to wipe some of that off my hands that I had, some of the foundation on my hands, and I rubbed it into water. And it's almost like the foundation is water repellent. It's the oddest thing. It's almost like when you know how you mix oil and vinegar together and how it just doesn't mix? Well, when I tried to wipe that foundation off, it took almost 3 rubbings with soap and water to get it off. I don't know, it's just the oddest consistency. But let me put it on my face, and even patting it in with the brush, to me, it just starts to look like it's turning into clay. But I will keep my mouth quiet and I will put this on. Okay, I've put the foundation on my face now, and you can kind of get a feel for the coverage of it. I cannot stand using this brush because it's just so, I mean, come on. How can I get that around my eye, this brush? It's like stabbing in my eye with this thing. I use my little kind of Sonia Keshik foundation brush, which I really like instead. But you can see the coverage is fairly, I mean, it's fairly decent coverage. And at first, it looks like it's going to be kind of real dewy. But then after a while, once it kind of dries, when I look at it in the sun in about 30 minutes, I can kind of see the foundation kind of just sitting on top of my face. And it almost dries to me. It feels a little kind of tight. I just don't know what it is. I just don't like the consistency of this foundation on my 52-year-old wrinkled skin. So that kind of is my review of the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. If you're younger and you don't have a lot of lines and wrinkles and you want full coverage, this may not be a bad foundation for you. I do find it a little kind of drying for me. I have an oily T-zone area, and like I said, I just kind of feel it on my skin. It's not lightweight. I actually, on this side of my face that you can see is very dewy looking, have my Cover FX foundation, which I absolutely love. And I'm actually going to put a link to that either here or I think it's going to be over here. And if you click that on, you'll see the review of Cover FX, which I really prefer much more to this. I just find the consistency of the Cover FX to kind of go into my skin more and not sit on top. And it does cover my hyperpigmentation really well and covers my dark circles. Whereas this one, just after a while, just tends to kind of get in my lines and wrinkles and just feel a little tighter on my face. If I can get a good picture of this in the sunlight and where you can actually see kind of what I'm talking about, I will try to stick it in at the end of this video. But like I said, you almost have to be here and see it on my face in the sun to see what I'm talking about. That was my little mini retro throwback review for Thursday of a product that's been out for a while, Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. Have a good weekend, guys, and I will see you next week. I threw a quick picture in that I took. If you take a look at my lines around my mouth, this is what they look like with the Tarte. They really are emphasized a lot because the Tarte foundation dried right around my face, especially around my mouth. And this is the side of my face that has the Cover FX on. So you can see how much smoother it looks around my mouth. It hasn't settled into my lines and wrinkles around my mouth. That is why I like the Cover FX so much better than the Tarte Amazonian Clay for mature skin.